Alright y'all, so I am back with another review, and this time I'm going to talk about two shows that I watched recently that I absolutely love. First, it's going to be Them Season 2. If you know, you know. And of course, Baby Reindeer. I need to work on my dang on accent. It's trash. It's trash. So first one I want to hop into is the new season of Them. If you didn't watch season 1, let me just put you up on game real quick, okay? So season 1 was about this black family from North Carolina. Hey, shout out North Carolina, come on and raise up. Moved from North Carolina to Los Angeles in a time period that was known as the Great Migration. And this was set around like the 50s, 60s era, okay? So you know there was Jim Crow, segregation, just a lot of craziness going on in America in general, but more specifically in the South. And a lot of black families were moving from the South out west looking for better opportunities and better living situations. But as we all know, history has proven that that was not the case at all. So the trauma that this black family went through the time that they were in LA, season 2 picks up with the next generation of that trauma. And this is during like the Rodney King era, the 90s, where violence was really going down within the police department and the black community. We were all at odds. And the reason why I led with a little bit of history is because I want everyone to understand, going into watching this show, especially if you haven't seen season 1, this show is about racial issues, racial tensions, and more specifically, black trauma. Now, what makes this show so good to me is that they take this family's living situation and everything that they're going through and they turn it into a horror show. Because, I mean, let's be real. This is real life horror, okay? Even though this story isn't real, things like this really happened to black people during this time period. The cat in the bag scene still has me traumatized to this day. Also, what's really cool is they introduce a spiritual aspect into it. So they have this character called the Tap Dance Man, and he basically represents the face that black people have to put on to try to be palatable to other people in the community. But at the same time, when we go through all these traumas and all of these horrible things, that person no longer is trying to wear the happy smiling face. It's like, oh, what you gonna do now? And ultimately it awakens this darker side to the people in this black family. So they have this face they're trying to put on to just get by in life, but also their past traumas, the traumas of the place that they're in, and just the spirit of all of this negative energy is manifesting itself in this family and turning them into people that they don't even recognize anymore. And ultimately, season 2 shows how that black trauma and trauma in general can be passed down to the next generation. And boy, let me tell you something right now. I gotta give all the praise to Luke James. Y'all, he ate this role up. If you haven't seen it, I just want you to watch it just to watch his performance. I'm serious. Like, he did an excellent job. But I don't want to give too much away because I really want y'all to watch this, and I don't really want to do too many spoilers. So I'm just gonna say that he plays a role in which he has to be two different people. And by two different people, I mean he puts on like this smiling happy face and, hi, how everybody doing? And he's trying to be an actor on top of that, but he keeps getting declined roles. He keeps getting typecast for these gangster roles, and he's not really a gangster type black guy. So ultimately he starts trying to do horror roles or like serial killer roles. I think that's what it was. And him trying to tap into that energy to channel that character ultimately makes him tap into the inner killer in himself. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's plot twists, there's gore, woo! There's a little bit of a history lesson in there for you, and there is 10 out of 10 acting. Okay, the whole cast is lit. No notes. Overall, I'm gonna give this season and just the overall series a 10 out of 10. Like, watch it, you will love it, but I always keep it real. If you are sensitive to racial issues, just this one ain't for you. And that's okay. That's okay. So now on to Baby Reindeer. First of all, it's a Netflix show, and I forgot to say that Them is on Amazon Prime if you want to watch it. So Baby Reindeer is a Netflix show, and it basically is telling the story of this comedian, a true story. This is based on a true story. This is his true story of how he met this woman in a bar and she just started stalking him to the ultimate highest degree. And what's so crazy about this show, and again, y'all, I'm not doing any spoilers, is how all of this could have been prevented if he just wasn't being too nice all the time. And don't get me wrong, I too used to be one of those people that was just way too nice to people, but eventually you get fed up with crazy stuff happening to you because you just didn't want to tell people no, or like, hey, you're making me uncomfortable. I understand that he went through some very traumatic things. He was a professional comedian, and he went through some very traumatic things trying to make it in the industry, and it ultimately landed him in a very kind of confused place, especially with his sexuality, because it was a man that had attacked him. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And it left him very confused, but also he was always looking for validation from other people. He didn't really love himself too much, so he was looking for love and validation out in the world, which ended up him being susceptible to being stalked by this crazy woman, and him just joking around with her talking about she needs her curtains hang, and he's just like, yeah, I'll hang those curtains for you. Next thing you know, she's grabbing his outside without his permission, without no warning, just straight up groped bruh. And the stalking just goes on and on and on, and it just gets progressively worse and worse. And y'all, it's a wild ride just to watch him sit here and let all of these things happen to him, while at the same time he is voicing how confused he is about everything that's happening to him. Because it's like he wants this stalker to go away. Her name is Martha, and y'all, Martha, the lady that played Martha, girl, you ate. Because I saw the Piers Morgan interview, and real life Martha is crazy. So yeah, you did a good job. But yeah, he's very confused about his relationship with her because he wants her to go away, and he knows that what she's doing is really harming him mentally and a little bit physically. Well, I mean, it does get physical, so not a little bit, but he keeps craving that attention from her. So it's wicked. And I do highly recommend watching the Piers Morgan interview with the real life Martha, because this woman is just sitting here talking in circles, trying to say that she didn't do all these things, but at the same time contradicting herself like every minute. And I'm not a Piers Morgan fan, but he did a good job like pressing the issues. Of course, I'm gonna give Baby Reindeer a 10 out of 10. Like, I know I'm just throwing 10s out here. 10s for everybody. Drop a comment, let me know what y'all think, and any other shows and movies you want me to watch. And I'll see you next time with some more reviews.